अरे इनका प्रेजेंटेशन तो आ ही नहीं रही है साला। सुनता, ये प्रेजेंटेशन देगा तो इसमें इधर आना 1 मिनट। इसने ऐसे कर रखा है।
हाँ तो प्रेजेंटेशन देगा, सामने आ जाएगी
आ
ना।
जाएगा ना?
हाँ।
ठीक है। ठीक है।
अभी नहीं मेरे को, अभी मुझे बच।
Tomorrow, Sri Dinesh Sharma will take the lecture on differential global progenic systems on today, and tomorrow he will deliver lecture on auto-level surveying. So once again, I expect from the participant that please interact with our faculty. Please try to understand the things which uh, our faculty want to show you. If you have any query or any doubts, please clear your doubt during the session. There will also be a 15 minutes time break at around 11:15 to 11:30. And at the end of the presentation also, participant can also ask the questions from our faculty, sir. Basically, concept of organizing these type of training program is basically that the faculty, the expert and the participant will interact with each other and understanding the thing in a better way. So I will not take much more time. I request Sri Dinesh Sharma ji to start his presentation as well as his experience with the participants. Thank you.
Namaste, namaste participants, and namaste Gupta ji. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much for the nice introduction, and it comes with a sense of responsibility. The pandemic has really eased our life. Life is now very easy in terms of our participation as participants. However, it is a challenging task for the trainers, including me, to really express ourselves 100%. When we talk about the land surveying, it is all practical. And I was there yesterday during the session. I was just trying to observe, and I found that most of the participants were there around 11:30 or so. I think around 80 or something. At the same time, it is important to know why we are here. I will start my presentation a little later. I request all the participants to take a pen and paper also along with you. I have seen a lot of training programs where professionals, they are working, they are busy with the daily tasks given by the authorities. At the same time, they are sparing time for these training programs. I do not know about this particular arrangement here. Maybe you are busy with the work also, or you are dedicated and taking time for this training only without any other work. In both the scenarios, it is important to understand what we are going to learn and keeping note of everything will make the task easy because there won't be any notes here. It is all the interaction for coming 2 days as far as I'm concerned. So there will be 3 breaks in between where you can ask the questions. And I'll request all the participants to switch on their video during the question and answer session so that we can interact better and I can understand if I am able to satisfy you with your questions and answers. Better. However, if you're using your mobile phones, then keep it in the horizontal position so that the screen size is slightly better. That is what I always
ये
tell my
आवाज कम आ रही है
participants.
सुनीता?
And okay,
हाँ?
there was some disturbance in between. And there may be some disconnect as far as internet is concerned or light is concerned. These are all technical hitches which comes and go. If it happens at my end, so I will request you to keep calm and keep connected. Maybe within 1 or 2 minutes, we'll be connected again. In case it happens, I hope it doesn't happen. And the technology always support us. So now the training program. Today, the topic is GPS. It's nothing new for us. When I talk about the GPS, about 20 years back, it used to be a challenge even to talk about the GPS. I had a trainer from Singapore when I got trained there. And during those days, when we heard the word GPS for the first time, he said, good place to sleep. GPS, good place to sleep. And it was true. And it is true when we are using the GPS, actually we are not doing anything. It is all the data recording, which is happening automatically. The data processing is happening automatically. The result is coming out automatically. So what we are doing, we are just sleeping. So today we will understand the principles of GPS also, so that we know what is happening at the background. GPS is the part of our life. It is essential part of our life. When I go little back, say around 25 years back, it was very difficult to talk about the total station, which is again a basic survey instrument these days. I hope most of you are civil engineers or have some background of civil engineering. You must have studied uh, land surveying also. So I hope it is not going to be very challenging for you to understand today's topic. So let me start sharing my presentation. Once again, my request to you, all of you, to keep notes of everything and keep your questions ready for the question and answer session. We'll have 3 breaks in between and you can ask your questions. Let us make this session more interactive so that there is more fun, there is more learning, and you you can enjoy the session. So let me start the presentation. Okay, just let me know if you can see my uh, first slide on the screen. Can anyone say what is written?
Why are you here?
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to know that
Yes.
yes, it is visible to all of you. Now you can enjoy. Why are you here? It is very important question. I need to ask this question to myself. I asked this question myself yesterday. Why I'm going to be there for the training program? And most of the training programs, they are happening remotely as far as our area is concerned. So how I can make the this training session more interactive, more enjoyable to the participants? So I spent about a couple of hours in redefining my PowerPoint presentation for this session. And as a participant, and this is a real photograph of one of my training session. I'm an image consultant. I'm an international image consultant who trains people how they can improve their first impression, which is very important in life. So this picture is taken in one of the auditorium of a very reputed college in India, and you can see one of the participant what he is doing. So this question is very relevant to all of us. Why are we here? So this question you need to ask yourself today, that why are you here? You are here as an obligation, or you are here to learn something, or you are here to find out how you can use this particular knowledge in your future. Whatever assignment you have in hand, or whatever you are going to do in future in your professional life, how this training session, maybe one particular point, can help you uh, to do better in life. So the answer to this question would be different for different people, and we will be now okay. Now control has come. Now the introduction. Now I have already told you that land surveying may not be something very new to you. You might have some hands-on experience in land surveying, and today we will be talking about the GPS. So before that, let me go back to my background. I'm a qualified engineer who started career with a few international companies, and in 1993 started my own business. Earlier it was trading or selling of land surveying instruments, and later on I switched to land surveying consultancy. So I formed this company, Top Surveying India Private Limited, about 25 years back, and later on I had a technical collaboration with Singaporean's largest land surveying company called Wisecam. And in Wisecam, we do specialized surveying for metro rail projects where automated monitoring is done. So maybe one day I will talk about automated monitoring also. And if you want to know more about these things, I'll share my contact details little later, so you can interact with me if you want to go beyond this training program. If you want to know something more than that. So now during the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. So I started different training programs remotely. So this is all about me. Now, coming back to the technical aspect of today's session, differential positioning system, which is known as DGPS. Now, what is DGPS and what is GPS? GPS is global positioning system as far as its detail is concerned. Differential is where the corrections are applied. In GPS, you get an accuracy of more than 1.5 meters precisely, whereas in differential GPS, you get better accuracy. So accuracy is the requirement of the survey data. Now, I will be covering these topics: basic principles of GPS equipment and accuracy achieved. The next uh, topic would be GPS versus DGPS, its principles, accuracy, and equipment, and then step-by-step procedure for setting up the equipment, tracing signals from the satellites, data transfer, analysis of the data, and determining the coordinates of station. These are the details which I received uh, for this training program. Now the checklist of handling of the equipment, demonstration of field survey. Now this is going to be very challenging. The demonstration is not possible, as you all of you know. However, I will try to explain you in detail if you can understand that. Then data processing and analysis, it requires softwares. So we'll not be practically doing the data processing, but I'll take you through the steps of doing it. We fix on the ground. Maybe in yesterday's session, I think Mr. Joshi was talking about creating the map. How accurately we can generate the maps using the images, it is very important to fix the points, control points on the ground. So it's a combination of GPS as well as satellite imagery if you can relate to yesterday's topic. Okay, few more questions you need to ask yourself. Why surveying? You are working in different government departments. You have assigned different responsibilities. So why this topic of surveying is chosen for your training? Again, you need to go back to your workplace, understand what challenges maybe you have at present, or maybe realize in future if you have some requirements. Maybe right now you may not be in position to visualize all this. However, after the training program is over, maybe you can try to answer these questions to yourself. And then what is your role? So what is your role in the entire context of land surveying, and especially DGPS and auto label? So what you are going to do, and then what you expect out of this training program, what you expect out of my sessions, and what you expect in journal, as how you to make use of these sessions effectively in your life. Okay, now the first question and answer break is here. I have not covered anything as yet, but just have a practice how we are going to deal with questions and answers. Maybe you can ask me a few questions, maybe something about me, something about surveying, something about any challenge, anything you can speak. So this is your time. 1 or 2 minutes. Any participants want to say anything, please go ahead. I'm waiting for you, participants. I hope everyone is here. Can you please unmute yourself and uh, say something so that our next question and answer session could be more interactive. So this is just a practice session. Otherwise, I have to name someone and ask something.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are great thankful to sit with such experienced persons. So survey is the only equipment we can have many more surveys for the government process, prepare a DPR in all this. So we are great thankful to you, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be with all of you. And today, during the question and answer sessions, I'll learn a lot of things from you. So that is
Yeah,
what I'm also expecting. Thank you.
thank you. So nice. Thank you, sir.
And maybe next time, if you are speaking, anyone, any participant speaking, maybe first you can tell your name and then where are you from so that we can relate to you. You are from all over India, Northeast. I see so many participants and JNK, Ladakh, and down south also. So it is such a diversified group of participants, and interacting with all of you is really a pleasure. Anyone else, please? Someone from extreme north, JNK, Jammu, Ladakh. I hope it is not very cold there.
Sorry, yeah, it's not starting cold, sir, in Ladakh.
Okay.
Yeah, then we are facing lots of difficulty during our survey work, sir. We are because basically we are belongs to very hilly area.
Yeah, I
Lots of
understand.
mountains are there.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
during survey we are facing lots of problem
Hmm.
to take the data of the various places, sir.
Yeah, I can
So
feel
anyhow,
that.
later on I'll learn on more and more learn from you, sir.
Sure, you can shoot a lot of questions during question and answer sessions, and I'll share my contact details also later on. Also, even after this training program, you can contact me anytime.
Thank you, sir. So if you don't mind, please let me know about the detailed procedure of how to install about this DGPS.
Sure,
And
we
yeah,
will
yeah.
cover a
By
lot of things here. And if
yeah,
anything is not covered during my training,
sir.
maybe you definitely ask me questions later.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Someone from the Northeast, Seven Sisters, Northeast. Any participant from the Northeast states? Okay, no problem. So, like this, the question and answer session will go on in the future. We'll have two more such breaks, and that break time of question and answers will be your participation and my time to respond to you. Otherwise, it will be one-way communication most of the time. So let us resume our training session. So the first topic which was written in the training schedule, the accuracy requirement of surveying. So can you understand? Can you feel? I hope whatever experience you have so far in your professional life, you can remember some of the incidents where uh, you come across that the work was not done accurately, precisely, and because of that, uh, something went wrong. And it started with the inaccuracy in the survey. So I'm giving you this particular example, which you are seeing on your screen, that this particular tree was there in the alignment. Especially my friend from the PWD can understand this. This tree was there in the alignment, and understand, if the surveying team do not take this tree into consideration and do not mark this tree, what could have been the alignment? It would go straight, and you need to cut this particular tree in that case, which was not mentioned in the DPR. Because the surveying team did some mistake, the accuracy was not there in the data, and the biggest mistake comes in the DPR, where the DPR is straight, and when the contractor is there to build this road, his billing will be more. Now, who will justify this billing? Because the road was not going in the straight line practically, it has to take a curve to save this particular maybe religious tree. So who will justify what happened? Because everything is tender based. These are the practical aspects which sometime can result in blunders. So this is one of the example. Now, I request all of you, while looking at this particular screen, try to visualize or try to recall some of the incidences where you can see that yes, this happened only because was not there. So many examples. Sometimes for urban local bodies, I'll give you one example that if you have to regularize a particular colony and the survey is done and the surveying team failed to locate or to show the transmission line in that area, and you regularize the entire colony, and what happened if there is an accident in future as related to transmission line, then who to blame? It is ultimately the initial surveying data. So I will tell my team that you are working as investigators, investigating agency, because you are preparing a survey report, and the entire project in future will depend on your report. So it has to be very, very, very accurate. So think from that point of view, how you are going to find out if the report given to you is accurate or not. Maybe you are smart enough to find out or maybe cross check certain points. Not every point. It is not practically possible for you to go through the entire report. No, it is not possible. However, you can you can pinpoint certain things which can relate to cross checking in the field and maybe save future mistakes. And it is very easy. If you religiously study the survey data, you will find out that what could be the chances of mistakes. So the accuracy in the surveying is very important, and as far as you are concerned, you need to point out those areas when the report comes to you on your table, because you are not always there in the field. So you can draw this context from this particular accuracy point, that how you're going to find out the mistakes. Now let's go back to the DGPS. Now, what is DGPS? I have already told you, the differential global positioning system. Why differential? Because there are two instruments used simultaneously in DGPS system, whereas in GPS system there is only one instrument. Now, how it works? If difference launched so orbits in the sky, and why they launch these satellites? Just to keep a watch on different continents, different countries for the defense applications. Now, since these satellites are very costly satellites, they are always available in the sky, and the only organization which was making use of these informations which are sent by these satellites is US Department of Defense. Now the civil bodies, they realize that such information is available. What about using this for civil engineering purposes? So they requested US Department of Defense that what if we can use your data? Can you allow to use these data? So yes, they have allowed. However, there are some conditions. The first condition is the whatever data is available to us, but GPS doesn't transmit it. GPS just receives the data sent by these satellites, which were initially launched by US. Then later on, there are satellites by Russia, and now different countries are launching their own navigational satellites. So initially, once the agreement was signed with US Department of Defense that, okay, you can use this data. However, we will dilute the accuracy for civil engineering purpose. Secondly, whenever there is a war, we will change the frequency, sort of frequency, right? So that you will not get the accurate data. Suppose today we are sitting in Mumbai. Using the satellite, we can identify that yes, we are in Mumbai. Suppose some war happens and the satellite data is diluted further, maybe you will find that you are not sitting in Mumbai. The data is showing that you are sitting in New York, things like that. So these are the conditions which were imposed, and using these informations sent by their satellites, they wanted to earn some royalty. So whatever GPS is manufactured in the world, manufacturers need to pay the royalty to them for using this. That is why the cost of GPS equipment is still a bit high. So these informations which are freely available now are collected by the receivers. You can see on the left hand side of the screen, there are two instruments with the antenna projected on top. So these are the receivers. These are the instrument, GPS instrument, which are receivers. And on the left hand side, you can see there is some equipment like mobile phone. It's look like mobile phone, but it is data collector. So this data collector is basically used to connect with the GPS and collect the data to give the command to the GPS. The antenna which you are able to see on top, actually it is a transmitter for the radio signal only, not about the GPS signals. So I'll explain you a little later when I'll go to the next screen. So the data which is collected by the data collector or by GPS, the data is processed and finally it is converted into coordinates. Now you can see the green color in the screen, and left hand side it is written coordinate x1, y1, z1. That means it gives the three-dimensional coordinates. It gives the x and y value as well as the height also, the levels also. So what that level is, it is a bit tricky. However, you can have the better level accuracy also. So just below the green uh, color, it is written receiver 1. Receiver 1 is the first instrument which fixed base stations. That means it will remain stationary. Suppose you want to do a survey on a particular day, so you will keep one instrument stationary at a particular point. Then the other instrument, which is shown on the left hand side with the data collector, this instrument is known as the rover, which is receiver 2. You can see on the right hand side figure is there where it is written receiver 2, which is rover. Rover means with the object which is moving. So you are taking the other instrument to different points where you need the information. So one is the base station, the other one is the rover station. We go back to the next screen. Now in the mobiles also, why I am showing here the mobile? Because the navigational system, which nowadays everyone is using in the smartphones, this is the final data which is in real time transferred to you. Nowadays, you can navigate on the roads and you can see that which road is free, which road has got blockages or something like that. So this is the real time data. And now the real time data is connected with our mobile system. And nowadays, you need not to ask anyone the directions in the mid of the night or in even in the during the fog also you can reach to your destinations very easily. So these are the applications of GPS system. You can think number of applications using GPS, number of applications. So life is not possible. It is an essential part of our life now. One many years back, wristwatch was very essential to know the time and all that. Nowadays, the GPS, the navigation part, especially, is critical aspect of our life, and we can't think of our life without this. You can see number of applications which are using the GPS system, especially the supply chain. Whatever you order, it is available. Can I request Mr. Kazi Razul Sohel? Your mic is on, I believe. Can you switch off the mic, please, Mr. Kazi?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. It was maybe by mistake you have switched on. Yeah, thank you. Switch. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I was talking about the mobile phone has got many applications, and life is. We can't think of life without GPS system nowadays. Everything is linked to that. You order something, some food, and the delivery boy comes for delivering, and they are using the GPS system. And think of those days when GPS was not available, and you are doing the survey in the forest. Maybe some of the friends from north and northeastern states can remember those days, probably when GPS was not available. You are doing the survey in the jungle and the forest, and you forgot the way back to your station. How dangerous it was. And similarly in the sea, you are sailing, and then you are not using the GPS system. Where will you head to? You don't know anything. Suppose it is cloudy environment. You can't see the sky, you can't see the stars, you can't see the sun, and then how will you move in different directions? So it is very difficult. I request Mr. Vishal Kumar to switch off the mic, please. It might disturb others. Yeah. Mr. Vishal, yeah. Mr. Vishal, can you switch off the mic, please? Maybe you, by mistake, you might have touched that. Yeah, maybe. Okay, we go ahead. So I was talking about numerous applications. Now think of different applications in your life. Think, because this is the time to understand it. This is the time to understand how the training will be helpful to you in the life. Whatever professional work you are doing, how it is going to help you. Please understand it. Okay, we've come to little closer, have a look to these instruments because practically it is not possible. Uh, so I'll try to show you. Can you see my cursor so that I can start explaining you? You can see my moving cursor. Anyone
Yes,
can?
yes, sir, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Thank you, thank you. So I start from the right hand side. So this is the antenna. This antenna is used to send the signal from here to this. This is rover. So radio signal, this is going from here and reaching here.
Excuse me, sound. Your voice is very low, sir. I can't hear it properly.
Okay. Thank you for feedback. Can I request Mr. Vishal to switch off the mic? Maybe it might be disturbing. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm little suffering from cold, so excuse me. Okay, I was talking about this radio antenna. It transmits the signal, and the signal is received by this rover. Now, what is happening here? Why this is sending some information here? Because this instrument is at one place. It is stationary. It is not moving. So this instrument is stationary, which is tracking the satellites, which is receiving the signals from the satellites, and single instrument is not that accurate. As I told you, the single instrument could be as accurate as 1.5 meter or so. So there is a software which is inbuilt in this system, and I'm getting disturbed with Mr. Vishal. If you are able to hear me, please switch off your mic. It is disturbing others, including me. Mr. Vishal, uh, can can I request admin from authorities, IAHE authorities? Can you call Mr. Vishal and request him to switch off his mic, please? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so whatever inaccuracy this instrument is receiving, so there is a software which processes the data. There is an inbuilt software which processes the data, and whatever inaccuracy is there in the data, same inaccuracy is here also, because we are in the same area. This instrument is also tracking same satellites, same set of satellites, and this instrument is also tracking the same satellites. So whatever inaccuracy is there, this has got the capability to process that and give this signal to this rover. So this radio antenna is used to transmit these informations from here to here, so that the data you receive here is accurate. Suppose you are getting 2 meter error here. So the purpose of radio signal is to tell this instrument that accuracy is not achieved. There is an error of 2 meter. Kindly correct that. So this particular rover will automatically correct its data to that accuracy. So I hope you have understood. The data received by one instrument is not so accurate, which is required in land surveying. So what we require in land surveying, a centimeter accuracy, maybe sometime the millimeter accuracy, not in meters accuracy. So if we are using GPS, the accuracy will be maximum 1.52 meter. However, if you are using DGPS, that means you are using two instruments. One instrument is transmitting the error data, which is corrected by the final rover. So the data recorded here is accurate. Correct? So this was the purpose of having the radio signal. Okay. We go ahead. We go ahead. Now this lot of I think you give me a break of 1 minute. I'll call IAHE just to request Mr. Vishal. Just a moment. Neeraj, can you request Mr. Vishal to switch off the mic because it is disturbing all the participants?
Okay, okay.
I think he is not able to listen to me. Maybe you can call him directly. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, rest of the participants, let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. The authorities are requesting Mr. Vishal to switch off the mic.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah. So I was just going to take the question and answers in between. Anyway, now we are back to the track. So I hope I'm able to explain you why the radio signal and this antenna is there in the DGPS system, how we are going to correct the data. It is all internal. Even the software is built inside. How the software works, it is not important for us to understand. It is for software people. But we know that the signals which are received by this instrument, the data is corrected. And because it has got that capability, it will know that what is the error happening at this point in time. So this error information goes through the radio signal to the rover, and rover will also have some software which will apply these corrections, and the final data which is recorded here in this is known as the data collector. This data collector records the entire data. So the accuracy is maintained here. So that is the purpose of using the DGPS system. So before I go to the next question and answer session, I'll take you through to more details. Now, I am reading this for all of you. DGPS is an enhancement to the global positioning system. As I told you, there is GPS and there is DGPS. D means differential, which provides improved location accuracy in the range of operations of each system from the 15-meter nominal GPS accuracy to about 1 to 3 centimeters in case of West implementations. Even we have better instruments also these days available. So the accuracy we can achieve is around 1 to 3 centimeters also. Okay, there is one more mode where we can use the GPS. It is known as RTK, real time kinematic. Now, what is real time kinematic? I was explaining you earlier that this instrument is the stationary one, and this one is the moving left hand side. So the data is transmitted in terms of errors from this base station to the rover station, and you are getting the real time accurate data. This is known as real time kinematic survey. So in the field itself, you are getting the accurate data. However, if you want to achieve the highest level of accuracy, only for control points, those who understand the control points at this stage can just remember it. Though it is a part of the topic today, I'll explain you the control point survey at the end of the presentation, maybe around 12:30, 12:45. I'll come back to that control point station survey also. So for control point station survey, you need not to move this. Maybe you can keep this right hand side instrument on the known point for whole of the day, and maybe you can keep this on the tripod on the second point, which is your control point, for about a couple of hours, depending upon the specifications of the instrument. And then the data is processed in the computer at the end of the day, and finally you get the accuracy. However, if you don't want to wait for the entire day to know the accuracy, you can use the real-time kinematic surveying. So real-time kinematic surveying will give you the real-time results. On the other hand, the entire system becomes very costly. So the cost is increased. However, you are getting the real-time accuracy. So it depends on different projects. When you are, say, for example, putting up a new alignment for the road, maybe real-time survey accuracy is not required, because you can process the data at the end of the day, and next day morning you can come back to the field and mark the alignment. In case of, say, revenue, maybe if some of you are there working on some disputes, suppose there is a land dispute, and land dispute, you are there in the field to find out the real situation. So you need the data then and there, because in case of any dispute, you don't want to wait for next day and again talk about what is right or wrong. You want to set it right then and there. In such situation, maybe you need the real-time RTK survey. I hope you understand these applications now. So again, this is typically how the control survey is done. You can see here these are number of satellites. So for your information, there are more than 30-35 satellites in the sky. However, they are rotating in different orbits. Okay, they are rotating in different orbits. So all the 24, 30, 35 satellites are not always available at one location, because they are moving. Generally, we need about at least 3 satellites for giving you the coordinates. We need the fourth satellite to reconfirm that data. In my experience, if you are going to do a good survey, so try to have 7-8 satellites. So generally, 10 to 12 satellites are available in one zone in most of the cases. So try to have 7-8 satellites at least, so that you get better accuracy, and that is the time saving also. So these satellites, sometime what will happen, one satellite is available, then it will go, then another satellite will come, because these are moving satellites. So in this typical picture also, you can see the GPS rover receiver. This is GPS rover receiver, which is moving. So this is the equipment which is telling you the coordinates at different points. However, network control station, what is this network control center? Let me tell you. If you don't want to invest too much in equipment, maybe the base station you don't require. There are service providers in the world who can sell you this information. Suppose you are doing a survey in a particular area, you can carry your one instrument also, and the base instrument information you will get after paying the subscription. So this is available. As you pay to different applications to use their expertise, similarly you pay to the service provider. Okay, all right. I come back to the question and answers, because this session is heading towards more technicalities.
Sir,
Yes, please.
is there an issue during the poor signal of the satellite, sir?
Yes,
So
yes,
what shall we do
definitely.
on that time, please?
Okay, Okay, though I can answer this question after break also when I cover the processing of the data.
So, so
However,
there
I'll
is.
ask you here,
Mhm.
तो बोल रहा है उसको बोलने दो.
whenever, as I explained you, there are two systems of doing the surveying. One is the stationary system where both the instruments are stationary at different locations and the data is processed later on. In case of real-time surveying, the data is processed in the field directly. Now, when you are receiving the signal strength is automatically shown. As I explained you, there was data collector. So signal strength comes there. If you are getting a poor quality of the signal, maybe you can reject that satellite manually, that don't take this data from this satellite. There are chances that the satellite functioning is not perfect because they also need the maintenance and routine problem might have occurred. So you get that information in your data collector. So if you are getting a poor signal from a particular satellite, you just reject that satellite. You have that option so that your accuracy level will increase. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, I invite other questions also now at this stage. Yes, you can ask me more questions, please. This is the question and answer session. A lot of technicalities were involved, so I hope you have more questions.
So one more, please.
Yes.
How to provide this service provider?
I didn't get you. I didn't understand what do you mean by service providers. Oh, hello. Can you ask the question again, please? Am I audible? Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes.
The, the, um, did, did uh, on the ground other criminal
As we know that different own so in terms of the components used by those manufacturers. So though typically I would not like to comment on anything, any make or something, but yes, if you talk about the international brands like Topcon, if you talk about Leica, if you talk about Trimble, yes, these are uh, uh, as far as others are concerned, personally, I don't have experience also, and I would ultimately it is the accuracy because if you are using the total station, if you're using the auto level, if you're using any traditional instruments, maybe you have some control. You know whether you are getting the required accuracy or not. There are systems and checks. However, in case of GPS, we are getting the data directly from the satellites, and we do not have any control. And whatever is happening within the instrument, you having the softwares, having the receivers, having the atomic clock inside. So it is so complicated. So we can't really visualize and can't find out whether it is really accurate or not accurate or trustworthy or not trustworthy. So I request you to stick with the good international brands as far as GPS is concerned.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Nazir, for asking this question. Any other question? Because I would like to keep the question and answer session little longer for you. Otherwise, I can speak, but I don't know how much you are able to understand and grasp. And with your questions only, maybe I'll go into little more details, maybe which I have not covered in my presentation. So your question will prompt me to comment more. Yes, I'm waiting for more questions, please. A lot of participants. We have 79 participants. So at least 79 questions I can expect from you. Any questions from PWD people? That could be more interesting. Maybe uh, Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand. Anyone from Uttarakhand? What should I presume that everyone is having early tea break or something? No questions, no interaction. Okay, let me start asking you some questions so that I can understand that. Have you understand? Can I ask you with your specific name? No, I'm just joking. We don't do that in any training program. Uh, Still, I encourage you to ask more questions because uh, you won't have that much of liberty and opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
Mr.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir. I do have a question.
Yes.
Coming back to this accuracy of the DGPS, the instruments.
Hmm.
Acha. Any will the as I belong from the hilly areas,
Uh-huh.
will this either bad weather or doing a survey in the dense forest will it affect the accuracy of the instruments, sir?
Okay. As far as the dense forest is concerned, GPS definitely has got some limitations because it is taking data from the sky. If you can see
Yes, yes.
my face in the video, this particular angle we generally need. Okay, facing towards sky. So if there is a forest and there is a tree cover, so signals will not reach. So yes, it has the limitation. The accuracy will be less in that case. However, in the forest area, I feel that accuracy will not matter that much as it will matter in the open area. So the limitation you can basically improve by having the extended antenna with the cable. so that your accuracy may increase. However, it has got limitation definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Fog generally will not impact much. Yes.
सेम लाइक अभी जो पूछा था उन्होंने कि फॉरेस्ट में जो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है,
हाँ
तो इसी तरह हमारे लद्दाख में जो हिली एरिया है, तो वहाँ
हाँ
जब सर्वे करते वक्त हिल के जो बॉटम में जब हमें लेना पड़ता है, तो सिग्नल उससे भी लूज होता है क्या?
हाँ हाँ ओके। जब आप हिल्स पे सर्वे करते हो, हिल्स के बॉटम में जब आप हैं, तो उस केस में हिल वाला साइड के सैटेलाइट्स को आप ब्रेक कर सकते हैं मैन्युअली, और जो अदर साइड के सैटेलाइट्स हैं आप उनको यूज बेटर करना चाहिए। और एक चीज और मैं आपको बताता हूँ, क्योंकि आप सर्वेइंग में इंटरेस्ट शो कर रहे हैं, मैं आपको एक ट्रिक देना चाहता हूँ। जहां कहीं भी आपको एक्यूरेसी नहीं आ रही है, उससे थोड़ा दूर जाने के बाद आपको जहां पर एक्यूरेसी मिल जाती है, आप वहां पर एक निशान लगा दीजिए, एक पॉइंट बना दीजिए, और वहां से मैनुअल सर्वे कर लीजिए, या वहां से टोटल स्टेशन यूज करके सर्वे कर लीजिए। तो जिस पॉइंट का एक्यूरेसी आपको चाहिए था, जो हिल के बॉटम में था, उसका एक्यूरेसी नहीं मिल रहा, लेकिन दूर जाके आपको मिल रहा है, तो बाकी सर्वे आप मैनुअल भी कर सकते हैं। तो ये एक टेक्निक है जो जनरली हम कई बार भूल जाते हैं, तो ये यूज कर सकते हैं आप। एम आई क्लियर? यस, मैंने आपके लिए टी को दिखा दिया है, लेकिन अभी टी ब्रेक है नहीं, अभी हुआ नहीं है। वी स्टिल हैव few minutes left for tea break, so I'll invite for more questions, please. Okay, just for your information, I'm sharing my contact details here. You can connect with me on LinkedIn also, though I'm not very active on Facebook. You can note down my phone number also. So you are most welcome to contact me later on also with your more questions. Maybe sometime what happens during the training, uh, we immediately can't think of any issue, but later on when we are back to the field and we find some issue and we don't have any support available at that point of time, so uh, I'm open to take all your questions, all discussions in future also. You can connect with me anytime. So maybe we'll take a little early tea break because you don't have any questions. Maybe during the tea time, just think of some more questions if you come across, and I'll start my session at 11:30 uh, with more questions from you if you have any. Otherwise, we'll go to more intense session after the tea break.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Hello.
टी ब्रेक करा दिया, मुझे लगा सुनते हैं।
मतलब पेंसिल है क्या आपके पास? हाँ, सुनो, संतोष, और पेंसिल देना जी, पेंसिल। पेंसिल कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है। नेटवर्क नहीं चल रहा है। हेलो हेलो। अच्छा, नहीं, कैसी? हम्म। 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 क्यों, मतलब यूटी नहीं हुआ है किसी का क्या? अच्छा, जाइए फिर, मजे काटिए। हम्म। तो फॉर्मेट भेज दे, हम लोग बना के दे देगा। ये कौन सा बात हो गया वहां जाके बनाने का? क्या बोले आप?
मुझे भी अपना अब वो करना पड़ेगा ठीक। मेरा ये वो रूम वाला खराब हो गया ना।
हाँ,
बिल्कुल।
जा, जाइएगा, आराम में बैठिए तो तुम नीचे कर लो। जाइए, अभी बुलाए हैं क्या? हम्म। तो हम लोग का फॉर्मेट कोई खराब फॉर्मेट है क्या, कि वो फॉर्मेट में चाहिए, ये फॉर्मेट में चाहिए? चलिए, हम तो साइड जा रहे हैं। संतोष, नहीं नहीं, हम तो अभी वो काम करके निकलने वाला है साइड। देख लीजिए।
ये जो मीटिंग चल रहा था।
Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome back. It is 11:30. I hope you had nice tea,
Yes,
coffee,
yes, sir.
kahwa, and whatever drinks you have. Okay, thank you for responding that I'm audible. So let us go through what we have learned during the first session before tea. Let us recall everything. So we talked about the accuracy requirement of the survey data. Now it is very important, as I mentioned earlier, as an officer, you are sitting most of the time in your office and you get the reports on your table. So try to analyze and try to find out if there is any mistake or chance of mistakes, or uh, just for the safer side, uh, the cross-checking of the important data in the field. So if you're doing that, your people who are working for you, maybe the outside survey agency, or if you have your own survey staff, survey team, so they will always try to be very efficient. They will always try to be very accurate. They will never try to manipulate the data because they know that as their boss, as their superior, supervisor, you are aware of these things. You have done everything. As my experience goes in running my two private limited companies, because I did surveying with my own hands initially, along with my surveyor, I know each and everything. So my staff knows from the day one that they can't manipulate anything to me. So if you have the similar kind of respect from your subordinates or from your consultants, you will enjoy your life better, because ultimately whatever comes to you as a report, finally you are responsible. So understanding that from that perspective, it is important to learn everything. You may have hands-on experience. You may go to the field with your consultant or with your own team and try to understand few things. That will make life easier. So accuracy part is very important. Then we had understood what is the difference between GPS and DGPS. GPS is a standalone data collection, receiving the data, which gives you an accuracy of about 15 meter, and maximum it can go to 1.5 meter also, depending upon the equipment, but cannot go beyond that, cannot go better accuracy than 1.5 meter in any case if you're using the standalone instrument. So just to overcome that limitation of GPS, the system of DGPS is introduced, where two similar instruments are being used in the field. One is stationary at one point, and the other one is moving. The one which is moving has also got the same features. The base instrument, which is not moving, which is kept at one place, receives the data from the same satellites which are transmitting the data to the other receiver, and it has got the software which resolves the inaccuracies. So finally, the capability of your base station equipment is to find out what are the errors at that point of time. And while using the radio signal, that information of inaccuracy is transferred to the rover, which is the instrument used for the real survey, and you get the accurate data. So that is what the DGPS is. You have many applications nowadays. Most of the applications, if you're talking about any phone, all the apps, in fact, they ask your permission to use your location. Sometimes you deny that permission if you don't want to share your permission, location. Otherwise, in most of the cases, we always say yes. That means whatever you are doing, wherever you are, all your informations are being recorded by different apps which you're using on your mobile phone. Sometimes it is dangerous too. I do not know. I don't want to comment. However, it has to be the personal choice to permit others to use your information or not. So we have understood that by default, every app is asking about your positional accuracy or positional information. So you have to take command. Maybe today, the most important learning for you could be that review all the applications which are installed in your system or on your mobiles, and where all you want to grant permission to use your location, and which application you don't want them to access your position where you are. So wisely you have to take a call. So GPS is an essential part of our life in routine activities. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad, depending upon the situation, applications. So wisely, you can do one homework today after the training is over. Once you go back to your home, once you are relaxed, review the permissions which you have granted to different applications on your mobile phone to find out your location, right? However, these things are very important. These informations are very important for everyone to use it wisely. So we have tried to understand the different part of the DGPS, which I explained you. Both the instruments look alike, same base and rover, and then you have radio antenna for transmitting the informations. Then you have this tripod, which need not to explain that every equipment needs a tripod. This is tribrag to center it. I'll explain you later on also. Then there is a bubble to keep it leveled, and then data collector, which is connected to these base and rover equipments. So this communicates with this instrument and records the data. So in real time surveying also, if you want to know the position in terms of coordinates, you will come to know directly on the screen. Okay, this was all about what we did. So I touched upon this point uh, before the tea break, that DGPS is an enhancement. It is an enhancement. It is the GPS. Both the equipments are absolutely same. Their capabilities are same. So DGPS means one is stationary and one is moving, and the other one could also be stationary. When we talk about the control point stations, generally we don't keep the instrument moving. It has to be stationary for a longer period for better accuracy, because these are the control points, and your further survey depends upon the accuracy of these control points. So let me touch this point even beforehand. So this is this this was it. Fixing of survey monuments, which is a pair of points. So you might have done this exercise in your colleges, or maybe those who are actively involved in surveying activities. The information has to start from the known points, right? You cannot just hypothetically do the survey, because GPS provides you global coordinates, international coordinates. The entire Earth is basically divided into lat longs, which you already know. So this is global. So when you're talking about global, why to do the local survey? Generally, suggested my team, the entire surveying life, my team in my company does the a global coordinate survey. That means we take global coordinates into consideration, assume the x, y, z values. X values, it's very assume that okay, 5,000 or 5,000, easting 1,000 and start survey. What if you have already this information available with you may not be that accurate. Now, even and in the smartphone, you can find out the northing and easting of any point. It may be as accurate as 1.5 meter. It could be as worst as 15 meter. However, whenever you're doing the survey, if you start using initial coordinate, which is global coordinate, which is in WGS84 format, so you can directly, mind it, this is very important, I'm telling you, you can directly visualize your recorded data using the Google Maps. So while sitting in the office, at least you can see the what is happening in real time in the field. Most of the information, maybe critical information, as I explained you earlier, that was which was not taken, and the alignment was straight. However, when the contractor at the time of constructing the road, they have to they, but some informations you will come to know if your team. So as I explained you that control point survey, it is done from the known point. So this is what the people from the kilometer stone. This is somewhere State Highway 57. So using this information, probably you are establishing second point. So I'll go back to that data again. Okay. From here you can see that you are using this for the first known point, and then your rover also needs position on the tripod, not on the range pole, because range pole can keep shaking, and you cannot hold the range pole, or your staff cannot hold the range pole for a longer period. For the control point survey, you need the rover positioning for a very long period, maybe for couple of hours, if you take my advice, because these are very accurate points which you are establishing. So for control point survey, your base and the rover both needs to be set on the tripod. And now itself, let me tell you, generally the mean sea level is written on the railway station. You see, this is New Delhi, mean sea level 214.42 meters. So if nothing is available, if you do not have points are generally down with the concrete pillar which is engraved there, and you can take the center of this point. So generally, if these Survey of India points are available, so you can use it. This is from Bangalore Development Authority. This is the point from Bangalore Development Authority, and there is a number also, year also, 1999 it was established and its number is 1701. If you go to take the data from Bangalore Development Authority, you will come to know the coordinates of this point. So you can start the survey from this point. If it is not available, if you are not using this point or such points in your particular area, if they are at a far off distance, you can start with the railway station. So you can control the Z level accuracy. So this is the fixing of survey monuments pair. Okay, why pair? Can you think why don't we establish one point only? Why do we need 2 points to do the survey? It's a basic question. Sometimes we have the answer to this basic question. Sometimes we just ignore it initially and we never know in our life why do we need 2 points? Can anyone answer? Can you answer? Anyone who knows the answer of this question? Why do we need pair of control points? Okay, you don't want to answer. Pair of point basically establishes coordinates of 2 points, which in turn establishes the directional length. Otherwise, your survey could be in any direction. If you have one point, one known point, your survey could be in any direction. It may not be towards true north. And all the maps, the direction of the north is always vertical. So to have the direction, we need 2 points. And since these 2 points are very accurate, any project starts from there. So fixing of these survey monuments is very important. And
There is no voice, sir. I think you are muted, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for pointing it out. I unmuted by mistake. Okay. So I was talking about the post-processing part of it. When the two control points are established, we are not in hurry to calculate the data in the field. We need highest level of accuracy because our entire survey depends on the coordinates processed on those two control points. Two instruments at two different places. There is no real-time data transfer happening. No radio is used. This instrument is used recording the data. This instrument is also recording the data. And the data is further downloaded in the computer, and finally using compatible softwares, the data is processed, and finally we know the baselines. So baselines means the line which is created by two control points. So the control point data requirements are very high. In
ठीक है, उसकी तैयारी करना शुरू कर दो, वो बहुत जल्दी आ जाएगा कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट। आप डिले नहीं होना। कंप्लीशन हुई डेट क्या रहेगा सर? सर डेट क्या रहेगा? 15/7 भी वही भेजा है। तो
Sabir, can you mute yourself, please?
पॉसिबल नहीं है, पॉसिबल नहीं है, वो खुद भी जानता है कि उसे काम कब खत्म। हाँ हाँ हुआ है तो फिर वो चीज
I do not have.
कितना जिद करोगे भाई?
Neeraj ji, can I mute someone if it is unmuted? How to do that? Sabir ji is unmute.
हेडक्वार्टर वाला तो आजकल ऐसे ही पूछता है कि आप यहाँ पे क्या कर रहा है, इससे अच्छा डायरेक्ट आरओ में ही ना सब कुछ सबमिट कर।
Let me see.
रंजीत सर के सामने हमको बोल रहा था हाँ जितना उछलना उछल लीजिए, हम तो लेके रहेगा 3 अप्रैल।
No, I don't have any such option, I believe here.
वो देखिए जो चीजें नहीं पॉसिबल है हम वही बता रहे हैं, जो चीजें आपको लेने हैं तो आप ले लीजिए, हमारे हेडक्वार्टर से लिखवा लेंगे, लिखवा कर दे दीजिए।
I think host can mute him again. He may be having that rights.
No, I don't see such right. When I clicked on the three pointers.
Someone from IH who is acting as a host.
Yeah. That is what I'm trying to call them.
ये क्या
नीरज जी, साबिर जी को म्यूट कर दीजिए। मेरे पास राइट्स नहीं है ना किसी को म्यूट करने
जी
का।
सर।
Yeah, just requested.
कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना अभी बता।
Do the needful. Just let's wait for a while.
तो बिल्कुल किया और एमबीओ साहब तो इसमें वही तो हमको नहीं समझ में आ रहा ना। और फिर इसके बाद आप मतलब अब बताइए उन्होंने रिप्लाई दिया है कब 20 अगस्त नॉन परफॉर्मर का हमारे हेडक्वार्टर पे 25-26 जुलाई नॉन परफॉर्मर रिप्लाई दिया 20 अगस्त और हमारे पास में कल आके बोल रहे हैं सर आरिफ साहब नहीं वो कोई आपका हेडक्वार्टर है, आरिफ साहब भी आए थे कुछ दिन पहले, आरिफ साहब कुछ दिन पहले आए थे, 2-3 दिन पहले आए। तो 2 महीना बाद आके बोलेगा कि मिलते हैं, बताइए। 1.5 महीना हो गया, हमसे पहले रिस्पॉन्स मांग लिया गया। आप उस समय बोला होता तो फिर एक बार का कुछ कंसीडर कर सकता है। अब उसके बाद में भी आप ऐसा ऐसा रिप्लाई कर रहा है जो कि हमारे लिए तो आप लेटर में तो देखिए ना, आप खुद भी देखा होगा लेटर कैसा कैसा दे रहा है आपका हेडक्वार्टर, एकदम फालतू फालतू का रिस्पॉन्स दे रहा है। सारा का सब ठीक है, सबसे बड़ी गलती है कि आपके हमने को इतना आता नहीं है। क्या है ना, कहीं पे भी हो कुछ भी हो, हाँ? इतना बार बुलाया गया आपके एमपी को, यहाँ तक कि आरओ तक आया, यहाँ तक नहीं है। मीटिंग के दिन हमको बोल रहे थे कि उनको पता भी नहीं है। इंग्लिश वाली को जो मीटिंग हुआ था उसमें इसका नाम पर हटे हुए नहीं करेंगे, जीएम सर जानते हैं, बहुत टेढ़ियाल है ना एमडी। तो वही तो आप ज्यादा अगर उसमें रहेंगे, ईगो में रहेंगे तो फिर तो नहीं हो सकता है। आपको आके रिक्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है, तो आदमी एक बार ढीला हो सकता है, अदरवाइज तो सभी तो देखिए आपका जो पूरा पूरा केस है वो टर्मिनेशन के लिए रेडी है, ठीक है? टर्मिनेशन के लिए रेडी है। केस 5 में भी मामला फंसा हुआ है, 4-5 का, हाँ 5 में तो मतलब पता नहीं क्या है दे रहा है आपको। अभी तो
Okay, sorry for interruption. I had to call the admin again. Now it is done. Okay, that is what initially mentioned, that after the pandemic, the life is easy for the participants. However, life is very difficult for the trainers. We keep on facing such problems, such issues, and it is not intentional. Sometimes by mistake we just press wrong button. As I got myself muted as well. Okay, let's go back to the surveying. Okay. So, post processing is done for the control point survey where the accuracy requirement is very high. Your further surveying is done on the basis, on the reference of the control point survey. So, the control point survey is generally done as post processing surveying, where the data is recorded and finally it is processed, and further we use that control point coordinates for detailed survey. Okay, this I explained you earlier before going to the break. This I explained already. Now DGPS. Now different users nowadays, the applications have gone to that extent that you generally don't need two instruments, the base and the rover. Especially it has been happening to the coastal area for many years, where one known point is established by the service provider, and the same information is sold to different users. That way the initial cost is saved. Moreover, you are getting the accurate data all the time. So this is another way of doing the surveying nowadays. In cities also, few service providers have come and set up their own stations in India as well. Though in other countries it has been happening for many years. However, in India, this has started happening recently, years back, where you get the data. So this is what is. Okay, now let us start step by step system. Though we are not doing it practically, but I'll take you through the system, how we do this, so that you can visualize it. You can only visualize it. However, you are most welcome at any point in time. If you are in Delhi and around, you can come and interact and work practically on the equipments what we have. Okay, now you can see this particular picture where yellow mark is there in the circle and the center on the ground. This is done where we don't have actual control points initially. If you're starting the survey for the base station, so base station you can have anywhere initially if you don't have control points. So I'm telling you something new, that you can have your own control points for future survey. In that case, the base station you can put on any point. And then how to set up the base station? You have to assume the coordinates of this point. As I explained earlier, that we work in WGS 84 system, which is international system. So you can use your simple mobile phone, or you can use the system coordinate which is given initially by this instrument, which may be as accurate as 1.5 meter generally. So you can use those coordinates because you are not using this point, you are using the other point finally, and you will establish all other points using this system. So you set up the instrument as in any case of any traditional survey instrument. That instrument is to be centered here on the ground point. Instrument need to be leveled, and then finally connect this system. Now this is shown using the cable. Why they are using the cable? They are using this external battery because this is the base station, and the capability of general batteries is 8 to 10 hours or so. However, if you want to keep this instrument here for more than 24 hours or 48 hours, things like that, you need the external battery also. So they have connected the external battery to the instrument. And of course, this is right inside, this is the data collector, which is connected to this through Bluetooth nowadays, and you can set up the initial system. You can input the details. I'll show you. This is how it looks like, a different data collector, and in the display you see, if I don't know who those who are on the computer can see northing, easting, and z written here. So status, center state. So this is the initial coordinate shown by the uh, instrument. So you can set these coordinates for this point. For this point, you can set these coordinates which are shown initially by the GPS system. As of now, it is just the GPS system. It is not the DGPS system. It is the GPS system. You can see the data collected in detail. There are job settings, points, raw data, feature code, notes, anything you can do. If you are using any traditional equipment so far, total stations and all, so it is the similar kind of equipment, a small field computer. This is a field robust computer, and it can withstand the different environmental conditions. And this is connected to this through Bluetooth. It is connected. As far as data transfer is concerned, you can use the memory card, or you can use the Wi-Fi system or Bluetooth system to transfer the data also, or to communicate with this. So there are different options available.
Kare contract yang ने डिस्टर्ब क्या पा? हाँ। एक फिर कहाँ लगाना है? Shinge. Yeah. So shinge. Chichikta advertisement board no songa. Yeah. Kawe ka yang gune pene tang ste advertise just no songa. Chichikta information display board ka nang ku ga tang chis no songa. Chichikta Yang gune pene tano, you would.
हाँ please. Thank you. Okay. Now you can see this is the typical set of different items in one set. This is the data cable which connects the instrument to the computer directly. You can connect this to the data. This is data collector. This is, you can see the USB cable. This also can be used for data transfer, and this is of course the charger, and this is showing the big screen of your computer. Now, what could be the precautions? This was another point which was mentioned in the training topics, that precautions. No, different precautions are required. Now, very important thing is the battery, because these instruments, GPS systems, depends on the kind of survey which you are doing. If you are doing the control point survey and you don't want to disturb the instrument for few days, so you need to have an external battery arrangement. So you need to think about that. If your team is establishing the control point survey, maybe this is another interesting point. If your team is not there, you are subcontracting the survey project to an external agency, external consultant. What you need to think, if they are establishing your control stations, suppose they don't have the external battery backup, so every day they will change the instrument to the same point, again they will set. There are human errors. There are human errors which cannot be avoided. There is one way to avoid the human errors here. If you have the external battery available with you for say 2 days or 3 days or whatever time period you have to establish the control point, it depends. In one day, maybe you can establish maximum 4 or 5 control points. And if in your area you want to set up 25 control points, so you need 4 or 5 days data, or you need a continuous uh, survey day and night, because GPS can work in the night also. There is no constraint, because visibility is not the need of the GPS. It is taking the data from the satellites, just tracking. So if you have enough battery, enough manpower, because the engineers they can work 8 to 10 hours. What next? In the night shift, you should have another person who is working. So you must consider these points while selecting a consultant who is going to work for you. External battery is an important point. Do they have engineers to work in different shifts? Do they have any constraint in working for 24 hours? So these are important points. Second thing is the connectivity. Suppose you do not have enough memory in the equipment, or you have previous files, the data is available in the equipment, and you are doing the control point survey, and suddenly you find that memory is full. The entire work, entire time will go waste. Again, you need to check this point, that what is the memory of the equipment and how much memory is available, and how many days data can be stored, what is the memory left. And if you do not have enough memory, do you have the arrangement to transfer the data immediately in the field? Another important point need to be considered. Unlike any other traditional surveying instruments, these are the additional points. Of course, other things are checking the accuracy, maybe on the baseline. I do not know how many times have you checked the accuracy of any instrument in the field so far. For auto level, generally, most of you must be aware of that. But I'll talk about auto level accuracy also tomorrow. However, for the GPS, there is nothing much until unless you have a baseline, which is very difficult to have. However, you can rely upon the software. As I explained you earlier, while processing the data, you will come to know a lot of information. If you don't know how to use that information, if the consultants, engineers who are processing the data, are they capable enough? Do they have that knowledge so that they can reject the wrong data? This is again a critical point. If your equipment is good, but the engineers who are operating, who are processing the data, if they do not know which data needs to be rejected, again the exercise is waste. So these are important points to be considered while you invite people to do the survey for you as far as GPS is concerned. We have come to the next Q&A session. I have covered a lot of practical aspect in this session, how to use it practically. So I'm sure this time you must be having a lot of questions. So I welcome your questions before moving to the last part of today's training session after 2 minutes. So questions, please. I expect a lot of questions from the participants who are working in the highways and roads. You must have a lot of questions. You must be looking for some good solutions. How I would love to guide you how to make use of this information effectively for your projects. This is your time, participants. I hope I'm audible. I'm waiting to listen to you. Are we here? Am I audible? I do not know. There is no response.
You are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for response. I'm waiting for the questions. Please give me a chance to learn something from you. Any application if you have in mind where I can explain you how it can be done. Think for solutions, because until unless you start thinking about the solutions, how you're going to make use of this knowledge, it is more theoretical. I understand the practical hands-on experience is not possible, as explained by Gupta ji, that it will be real practical from next financial year onwards. So I'm also looking forward to that opportunity to have a better interaction with the participants as it was happening in the past also. So just to have that constraint, we can start visualizing a few things. We can think of some solutions, some problems. In fact, problems. From your side, it should be problems. Maybe I'll try to explain you the solutions. I do not know whether you are just very young and just joined the departments, or you are working for a few years in the department, or you had some experience outside and then you are new to this field of operations. I do not know. So maybe you need to think and ask me questions. You know, the best thing comes out of the trainer is when participant interact. Else there may be so many things. Whatever I could think, I compiled in terms of presentation, coordinating with whatever topics were given to me. However, there are so many other things. It is beyond everything. So if you come forward with some issues, maybe it will relate better. What happened? No questions coming up in this session. This was alternate to practical work actually, this session. I should have more questions. Okay, not questions. Whatever, can you one by one, maybe few of you just interact whatever you want. Okay, one person from each state. Anyone can take the first mover's advantage of saying anything. Anyone from Assam here? Actually, there is nothing much left as far as my training is concerned. The last session is the smallest one. So this was really more concerned towards the actual usage.
Hi sir, this is Mayur.
Hi Mayur.
Yeah, actually I just wanted to ask like which are the brands which are making these instruments and maybe some of the best brands and how to differentiate between the qualities of their deliverables.
Okay, very nice questions. There are few good international brands. Jawad is one of them, though it is not very popular in India. Trimble is another one, and then Leica is there. So these are three, say category A, I believe, and then we have Topcon, we have Sokia. These maybe the second category, I can say. And as far as the quality is concerned, again, it is the trust. It is very difficult to check. However, you can see the experience and why these brands are known in the world because of their reliability. And one thing is there, instrument is not doing anything. Let me be very, very frank with you. Instrument is just a receiver. The entire thing depends on the satellite signal strength, its accuracy, and interpreting the data. So whatever signals you have, every satellite, every instrument is using the same. They are just recording. They are not doing anything. So we all the brands in the world, they are recording the same signal, same data from the same satellites. So what is the difference? Difference is finally in the quality of the processing of the data, quality of the software, number one. Second, the quality of the engineers itself, because to achieve the highest level of accuracy using the same data, same software, it depends on you. Are you able to differentiate between the less accurate data or more accurate data, the conditions which are good for this, the better data, conditions which are worse to be rejected, right? So all these things come to the experience. And
Okay, sir. Thank you. What are the like different softwares like which we use for this post processing and all, like anything you have can more elaborate on that?
yeah, they generally, let me tell you, generally the instrument manufacturers, they have their own softwares, because though they have the compatibility with other softwares, other equipments also, everyone says like that. However, it is always better, because if you face a problem, it is like someone will say that the problem is with the equipment, the other one will say that the problem is with the software. So to avoid that, try to use the software of the same manufacturer as that of the GPS. So different companies, different manufacturers, they have different names. So if I talk about Topcon, generally I use Topcon. Topcon has got Civil CAD software. So like that, they have different names. So the thumb rule is to go ahead with the same manufacturers, whatever software they have or they recommend.
Okay, sir. And what do you feel, sir? Like present satellite system is sufficient to capture the accurate data, or like there is need of some more satellites or something like that, or to make the system more accurate, of course.
What accuracy we are talking about? If we talk about the accuracy of 10 millimeters on the land, I think it is very accurate. If we are talking about the accuracy of 1 or 2 millimeters, it is impossible to achieve using the GPS system. In that case, you establish the control points initial with the GPS, then establish the secondary control points using the total station, and then
Right, sir.
use
Right.
the best total station to record the best accurate data for the metro rail projects and things like that.
Yeah.
Like as I mentioned that I have collaboration with the Singaporean number one company in surveying. So we use the robotic total stations. What is robotic total station? Which we don't operate. We don't touch the instrument. We have remote operated system in the office, and the instrument is at site. So we are operating the instrument from the office. So all the human errors uh, are minimized. So to receive that kind of accuracy, we have to depend on multiple technologies, multiple instruments, equipment, depending upon the project. However, for GPS, as you mentioned that, can we do something more? I don't think there's any need to do something more to achieve that kind of accuracy. Second, if we don't want to depend upon this US Department of Defense or maybe Russian satellites, maybe individual countries that are trying, even India, to have our own navigational satellites. So that is what we can do.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm very happy that the kind of question I've just got, we are thinking beyond our available resources. We are thinking of future. We are thinking of better accuracy. We are thinking of better solutions. And let me tell you, with your experience only, the improvement will come. The people who are there in the field, your inputs are very, very critical for the manufacturers, for maybe the government also, to start thinking of the policies, start thinking of uh, improvements. So the inputs is definitely needed from your end. Okay, we move ahead. Right. Now coming some interesting data, how you see the data. Maybe let me see. I can't expand this. This is whatever is available. I'm sure those who are with their laptop can see very clearly. If you're able to see, let me try to use my cursor. Okay, this is RDSD, something is written. You can see this all green line, continuous green line. It implies that this was our base station. As I explained earlier, for real-time results or for the control survey, one instrument remains stationary at one point. Green bottom line indicates that this was our now moving upward. See G7, G9, G16, something. These are the satellites, different satellites. They are identified as different numbers, and these horizontal lines in different colors are showing the data recording of those satellites. So in this particular case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total 8 satellites data was available, and you can see here in the bottom, when this is field data from one of our project. This is 17 6 no 24 6 17 2017. The time is there 3:20 p.m. and final time here is 4:30 p.m. So it's about 1 hour 10 minutes data. I think it was not a real project. I believe it was some sample test. So that is why the duration is not very big. Generally, the duration is 8, 10, 15 hours, something like that. Okay, so this is 1 hour 10 minutes data available, different satellites. Now you see all these horizontal lines. These are showing the data record. Now just see the first one from the bottom. This line is continuous. There is seems to be a break here. There is a break here. Maybe some obstruction, maybe something happened, but it is not going to cause any problem, this particular break. However, if you see this yellow one is also all right, then the blue color is also all right, then this pink color, the first half is okay. After that, there are interruptions. You see, there are interruptions in between. We move further up, we can see this one. This is also seems to be okay. Then this dark blue one, there is a gap. Then second phase, there is a huge gap. That means the data is not available. What does it mean? I'm trying to explain you one. The satellites are moving in different orbits, right? So during this 1 hour 10 minute session, there was this satellite G16, which was there. There was interruption in between. There may be some obstruction, and then there was continuous data, and then it is disappeared. That means this particular satellite was available from starting till uh, about 3:45. Yes, about 3:45. After that, the satellite was no more available. That means you should not rely on this data, because if we average the data, this data is not available. If we average out, our software will average out, the accuracy will not be there. Now you see the second one. The moment first settle is available, and then after that you see this red one. After first half, this red one started coming in. That means this satellite has gone out of the visibility. Then the another satellite came into picture after that. Still, you need to get this data also, because this is scattered. This is not continuously available. Moreover, this is only available for almost 1/3 of the observation time. So this data needs to be rejected. Now, the thing is, if we do not have this knowledge, if we simply give the command to process the entire data, the accuracy will be definitely less. As the question was put to me before starting my this session, that how to control the accuracy. These are the points that the knowledge of the person who is processing data, or your knowledge as an officer to ask such questions, whether you have rejected the data, some of the satellite data, you must ask them, okay, bring the data to me. Which are the satellites which you have rejected during your processing? If they don't know anything, na, you simply know that they have processed the wrong data. Their required accuracy, whatever they claim, is not there. So such things are very important. Now, I'll tell you a very interesting point over this sky blue line. There is a small gap here. There is a small gap here. So we try to reject this data, small gap data. Other data is very consistent. So I will take this satellite. If I do not have enough satellite, I will take this satellite. However, I have enough satellites: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 satellites which are giving me continuous full data. So why should I even go for this small break? I will not take this data. For me to have better accuracy, I need 5 satellites even. The further satellites are basically to support you to take less observation. Like your time period will reduce if you have more satellites. However, the accuracy will not be impacted. Accuracy, if you have 5, 6 continuous satellites data available, you will get the required accuracy. Okay, I hope I have explained you this in detail, because this knowledge, if you have, I think any consultant will pay regard to you, and they will understand that you know in and out, and they will do the best job for you. Now, after this, you see at the bottom, GPS observation, it is written occupation and observation. Now, PG1 and RDRS, it is showing this was our initial data with the base station, and this is the PG01. This is the process data which has come out of the complete processing. Now you can see here the northing, grid easting, and elevation. This is the final data which we have received. It is magical. Everything is happening at the back of the software. We do not know what is happening. However, the input depends on us. Software will take the inputs whatever you allow it to take. If you allow the wrong inputs, the results will be poor. So control is here. You cannot control. You cannot control the data which is recorded. If there is a break, you cannot control. Suppose you are not getting the consistent data in 5 satellites, so just reject that data. Do the survey again on next day. Who is stopping you? So sometimes it happens. It has happened with us also. Sometimes consistency of the satellites is not available. The health of the satellites is not good. The data is also, sometimes we are in such a zone that in the first few hours, 5 satellites are available. In second few hours, other satellites are available. So that data is also rejected. This also you can control, by the way. There is something known as mission planning. Like the mission is planned in war, in survey also the mission is planned. So mission planning is something very, very interesting, that there are sites, there are applications where the availability of the satellites in your region is already there, because satellites are moving in a perfect orbit, their timings are fixed, their zone is fixed. So you should, in 24 hours, you should choose the best time for your survey when maximum satellites are available, maximum healthy satellites are available. Your software, I mean, your equipment can also say that satellite is not healthy, under maintenance. And sometimes if you don't know, you record the data, you find the wrong results. So mission planning is also very important for GPS survey. You plan in such a way that you finish the work in minimum time with the maximum accuracy. Sometimes you take maximum time and come with the minimum accuracy. So it is wise to understand all these things and just ask your consultant, okay, what time you're going to do this survey? Show me the mission planning status. Show me the number of satellites available during whatever time you have planned. And if they don't know anything, then simply I think it's the time to say goodbye to that consultant if they don't know all that. So such informations are very important, and you can make use of these informations. Now to the next one, that is how the data looks like when you transfer the data, it or you visualize the data. This is not the transfer, this is the visualization of the data in your field book. These are the satellites, these are the elevations, how in which orbit there are 46,000 kilometer away, 52,000, like that. So these are the informations available. On the right hand side, you see this is GLONASS satellite. This is the Russian satellites. So this particular equipment didn't get any data from the GLONASS, or they may not have the compatibility with the GLONASS satellite. So this is the data available. So like that also you can control the survey. Here I just want to tell you there is something called PDOP here. If you can see it here, once again, those who are not paying attention, maybe now you can look at the screen. I'm using my cursor, this PDOP. PDOP, PDOP, PDOP is 1.545. This is very critical observation. You can go to the field, if some survey is happening, just check the PDOP. Ask your engineer to tell you what is the PDOP at this point of time. If they don't, if they know, well, if they don't know, again, thank you. PDOP should always be less than 3. This is a tolerance limit I'm telling you. For the good survey, the value here should be less than 3. So this value is always available in your field book, which is used to record the data. So you must ask them, the consultant, to show you what is the PDOP, or if you process the data, download the data, this information is also available there as well. So again, the precaution point of view, as I told you, that the knowledge of the processing engineer, other than the battery life available, things like that, this PDOP is also very critical observation which you can check. Apart from so many things are there, you cannot check everything. The PDOP must be checked always. Okay. Now I'll tell you, this is the something which happens at the back, and final data is this actual DGPS resultant. Here the software can show you what is the accuracy you are getting straight away. They have processed the actual data was this, after processing this is the result. So those changes is delta x, delta y are well known to you. So these are different points. You can reject other points. Here you can see point two, point to simply choose this data. Say that, okay, I consider this control point as accurate. Other observation you do depends on you, which is the control point survey, and reject the other data. Not necessary that the entire data is good. When you go to the restaurant, you order few items, and sometimes you don't like to eat a particular dish because you don't like the taste. Similarly, here also, the data is recorded, time is spent, everything is fine, but it depends on you. It's your choice which data you want to use. Not necessary that the entire data is to be used. If the dish is not really tasty, who says that you have paid for it? You should have it? No. Even though you have paid for it, but if you don't like it, leave it. Very simple thumb rule in the life. Okay. this, though I have already explained you what is GPS system, what is DGPS system, and all that, it's all theoretical. Those who want some theoretical details from me, details given to you, I'll give it again. You can note down this again before I go to the major question and answer, which will be the final one for today, and we can cover entire session. So it is all a wrap up kind of thing. I'm giving you maximum time, 15 minutes, almost more than that, to ask me questions. And while looking at how we process the data, like what are the critical points, if you still have something to ask, please ask. Over to you, participants. We still have good number of participants, 73 out of, I think, 80 or 78 earlier. Good. Yes, from admin side also, the discussion session has started. So please, I'm waiting for your questions.
Yes, sir. If the participants have any questions, please ask your question. However, I am seeing that the participants are interacting with our. If any question is left, please ask your questions.
Thank you, sir, for encouraging participants for asking the questions. That is what I'm also expecting.
Yeah. Sir, I think that there is no more questions from the participant side. So I will give you thank you very much for sharing the presentation as well as your experience with the participant. And I think that the participant will get the benefited from your lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Now, please.
Yes, sir.